Hi, I'm Notyetdead in name and in nature, and welcome back to South Mountain Creamery. So we're just on the way up to field 29. And I've not been here before, but I think it's around here somewhere. It doesn't get used a lot, just tucked away behind these houses, and it's really small. But I've got an idea for it. Again, it goes back to that sort of diversification thing that we were talking about in the last episode. So yeah, we're going to put some potatoes in here. I think actually we'll get, reasonable crop. Get quite a high yield per area from potatoes. So I think that will be okay. Just turn it around so we start on this side. I think it's going to be an easy field to use a worker for, but there's something else I need to do before we get started. So I'll move that in so it's not sticking out across the road. Right, so I'll just look online. Need to contact the store. We need a slurry tank. I found out, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not in the last episode, that there is a, they sell slurry down at the animal dealer. Perhaps not surprisingly, I guess they produce some while the animals are waiting to be sold. So yeah, I thought it would make sense to get obviously we're not producing enough of our own yet, so I thought it makes sense to get a slurry spreader so we can use it on the fields. Ooh, choice of colour. That's the South Mountain Creamery green, isn't it? I'll go with white. No particular preference. See what the colour one looks like. Yeah, and we'll buy it. We'll be using it quite a lot. So we'll get that delivered. And hopefully by the time we've done this, it will be back. So let's just very quickly plough this field. And then what we'll do, hopefully by then we'll have the slurry spreader and we can go pick that up and we'll go down to the animal dealership and we'll see about buying some slurry. How's that looking? Not bad. I don't know if I can get a worker on this. Strikes me as being a bit of a tricky area. And actually it's quite small. I don't often plough myself, so maybe I should just plough. Showing my terrible ploughing skills. Shallow doesn't help. Can't really see where we've been. Oh yeah, that's not too bad actually. Should be alright. Did I miss any? No, looks okay. Going all the way to the end. I'm going to go round, actually I wasn't going to, but I'm going to go around the edge. Just to make sure, because there's not a lot of space, even for not using a worker, there's not a lot of space around the edge. I know it's not really the done thing for ploughing, but yes, I said we're going to put potatoes in here. Just a small area to start with. Bit of an experiment. Just again, it's that sort of increase in the offering of what we can give to the customer at the store. And I thought, well, potatoes. We've done wood now. We'll see how that goes. And apparently, it's not used a lot, this field. It hasn't been used for a while, but so I figured it was worth using it. Get a small amount. We'll just lease the equipment to do it. We're not going to buy anything like big or anything like that. Clearly not. There's no space. And And yeah, we'll just do it small scale, low key, see how we get on. And if they're, if we get a good yield and we get good response, then we can look to do something bigger next time. Just realised I haven't rotated the plough at the moment. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll give it a go. I'm going to go extra edge and I'm going to go work on this. We'll see how well they do. It'd be useful to know. I'm not sure I'm going to do that cultivating, because that cultivator is huge. But we'll see. This top bit again. There we go. Right, let's see. There might be a little bit of time left to do. I'll leave them to it. Unfortunately, also needs a bit of a run back down to the farm. Okay, I'll see you there in a minute. Right, so I've just come back to the farm. Nice little walk through the woods that was, actually. Quite enjoyed that. I just saw the slurry spread has been delivered, so we'll jump in the Hurleman and we'll go pick it up, and then let's go down to the animal dealer and see about us getting some slurry. I don't know if they've got plans to sell manure as well, but right now it's just slurry. I mean, it won't be that long. Once we start to build the herd up, it won't be that long before we start producing our own. Kind of the point of slurry manure is that you don't have to buy it, unlike chemical fertiliser. So, which reminds me, speaking of which, we also need to get, mind you, as it depends on the price, because we also need to get field 42, so the grass pasture spread, mind you, it's also got cows in it, so realistically, yeah, so we could, it's still in its harvested phase, not in a growing phase, so we could get that slurried as well. It's going to be quite a few trips back and forth to do that. I might just do that with the fertiliser for now. But yeah, there's cows on it. It's great, makes sense. I've got to say, from a Matt baking perspective, you kind of think, would it not make more sense to keep the cows off that field, because it means I've got to work around them, which if you're just playing the game is fine, but I mean, from a, what I'm trying to do here is sort of story based thing, it's, yeah, anyway, that was a bit of an aside, sorry, slightly off topic. Right, so animal dealers down here, there is small sign, Emerson's. So we'll pop down and we'll see how much this slurry is going to cost. Must be inside somewhere. Not sure I've used this slurry spread, it's really good. I've only ever really done slurry when I've had like lots of my own slurry and therefore a big farm, then I've gone big on the slurry. Oh, there it is, there's the slurry point, looks like. So I'll fill up. See how much that is. What's the capacity of this? Is it 8,000? And we'll see how it goes. I might buy a front tank as well. 8,000 litres. So if I now drive away, $195. Well, that seems a pretty good price. Okay. Interesting. I realised this morning while I was driving the Deutz that and I don't know why I didn't think this before. It's got a front 3-point link. It's got a PTO anyway, so it must have a front 3-point link, which means I could have done the mown with that, which probably would have been better than doing it with the Hurlman, because it's a more powerful tractor. Not that it didn't. I mean, it performed admirably. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that at the time. But never mind. Anyway, we will go up and we will slurry field 9, because then we'll get the cultivator on it, which is quite big, so that'll have to be a Deutz job. And then depending on how much we've got left, we'll pop up to field 29. Work is finished. Probably already brought the tractor back by now. Yeah, then we'll be moving, and then we'll have to get the plough, or I'll get someone ploughing the 3 big fields for us. I wonder if we can just plough them together. Maybe not this year. Mind you, not I've got 20, I don't know. Yeah, maybe not this year. Now then, no idea spreading width. No clue. Just give it a go. I can always go and do the edges if I need to. Comfortably. It's going down quick though. Yep, we're going to need that front tank, aren't we? Well, it's fine for now. So yeah, yeah, a little bit too far over, missed a little bit of the edge, but it's fine. Wow, one strip, 1,300 litres. Yeah, I'm not going to have anywhere near enough. The problem is I can't afford to buy a lorry, so I can't therefore buy a field tank or anything like that. Oh well, might need a couple of trips back and forth for this field. It's quite a big field. I may not. Oh, I don't know, maybe I need to buy that front tank. I was thinking I wouldn't buy it immediately, but maybe I do. Not that it's huge. I think it's only about an extra 3,000 litres, but it's an extra 3,000 litres. It's not. Yeah, so I may not slurry for purposes of convenience at this point in time, given the scale of the operation at the moment. I may not slurry. Sorry, sir. Excuse me. The 3 big fields, because that would just take forever. I'd be constantly back and forth filling it up. Tricky. So may just, whoa, the plane was low. May just use chemical fertilizer on those for now. There was some discussion during our planning over the winter about trying to turn the farm organic. That's a big ask. It's a big undertaking though, so I don't know. But we'll see. For now we'll just use a mix of whatever we can, get the best yields. And maybe it's something to aspire to. Perhaps we'll start with some things organic, some things not. But then of course it means we have to segregate fields and do all that sort of stuff, make sure that the same field is used for the same thing, which actually from a crop rotation perspective isn't ideal either. So we couldn't always just sell organic potatoes, because that means we'd only be able to grow potatoes in one field. So yeah, not easy, but it's something to think about. But we're discussing it still. So for right now we'll just use a mix of whatever's best and see how we get on. But yeah, I'm definitely going to need to fill this up. Actually, you know what? Maybe once, actually. It might only, because of course, as you go along the field, it does get smaller. So I think it may need one further fill to be able to do this whole field. which is not too bad. Try and reduce the overlap a little bit, but then it's better than leaving gaps. So yeah, maybe one and a bit, but probably bearing in mind that field 29 won't take, you know, an entire tank. Actually, it probably means 3 fills in total across the 2 fields for now, which is not bad. I missed a bit. I know, I think shading's just slightly uneven. Cool. Okie dokie, this is actually going quite nicely. I like this little tank. I am denying about which one to use. There might be some others that I haven't downloaded actually in the store, but I did download a few. So I've got the Craner, but that's way too small. Tank's empty, right? Back to the animal dealer. Yeah, I've got the Craner, but it's far too small. I forget the capacity, but it's a lot smaller than this one. And also the high spec, but I'm hoping against hope that we will get Shamrock Valley, because I was going to use the high spec on a UK map, and I know technically, yeah, Shamrock Valley's in Southern Ireland, so it's not a UK map as such, but it's, you know, tantamount to. I've missed pretty much every time I've thought about doing a UK map. I've been ensconced in something else and therefore not got round to it, and then sort of other UK maps come out and it just becomes impossible. At one point I was umming and ahhing between the West Coast and what's that? What's the other Oxton Dover map? Oh, that's really bad, isn't it? Mine's gone completely. But yeah, no, I was actually umming and ahhing between the two and actually decided I quite fancy the West Coast. But it's a bit, you guys want to see the new maps, you don't want to see something that's an old map. Whoa, stuck. So, but I'm hoping actually that maybe West Coast will come out on FS19. They'll do a modification of it, and then perhaps I'll play that on there, which would be quite cool. So yeah, I'm kind of hopeful for Shamrock Valley. And then so some of the stuff that I've been keeping for a UK map, a home European map, you know, UK, Ireland, wheel drive on the left. Very similar, lovely place, nice people. But yeah, so I'm kind of keeping the high spec for that. It's going to be a bit close to home. And of course there's a few others, but I should have had a look, but I haven't used this one before. I know it's the in-game one, but actually it looks quite cool. South Mountain Creamery green and white wheels, and the colour icon, I think it looks really good. Right, I will go and finish off the field, and I'll see you a little bit later on. Right, so I finished on field 9, so I thought I'd come and do field 29 next. Just a little tricky space, but so it shouldn't take long, so I was right. So I just didn't, 2 wasn't quite enough. It was so close, but wasn't quite enough, so I filled up, but this should be plenty to do this field. That's not the easiest field in the world to slurry. And actually I'm wondering, I might try one of the larger fields. I think if I ordered that front tank, it's only, how much is it? The Goma Front tank, 3,000 litre. Ooh, it's $8,000. $8,000. It's actually relatively expensive, but it would be helpful. And the thing is, the next one up is 36,000, and that'll give us what? So that's 8,000. What was this? 3,000 litres. So it'll give us 11,000. Yeah, because then we're starting to get into really expensive things, aren't we? I've got a Marshall as well as the high spec. What's that? 8,000 litres. Oh, but it cost £14,000, so it was more expensive than the Garant, right? Yeah, so, and same size, so there's no benefit to it. Obviously that's not as expensive as I thought, but I still need this to fill it up, so yeah, that doesn't help. Okay, so yeah, maybe we'll order that front tank. Just to try and see if that helps us with some of those bigger fields. I suppose I could just lease it to start with. It's funny because this is a really small field, but because it's such a funny shape. Oh, that was the wrong way. It's not a particularly quick thing to do. I'll go around the edge and then actually should take a couple of goes up down to do the middle. There we go, it's not too bad. Actually, in a second I better look at the calendar, seasons calendar, and figure out when we need to start sowing. Let's not make the same mistake I made on the well cut. There we go. I could quite do this in one dynamite. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it's definitely a funny shaped field. Quite tricky, but it's ideal for what we want to use it for this year. Potatoes. Don't need too many. Fingers crossed we'll get this just right. Cover the whole lot. There we go. All done. Lovely. Right. Get this back to the farm. So I just thought I'd stop off here for a minute. We'll grab the doits and the cultivator. Which cultivator is this one? Oh yeah, the Amazon. It is the Catros. I was thinking I had Catros in my head. Yes, the Amazon Catros. Now every time I put that plough down in here, it sets itself into that corner, which I've got to say is a little bit annoying because it's really hard to get out of them. So maybe I'll start storing the plough somewhere else. That's a strange bug. Yeah, I just thought while I'm doing other things... Whoa, and even with a front weight on, there's an awful lot of weight on the back of this tractor. How much power does it need? 180. Okay, so this is going to be a slow job. Interesting. Oh, and you can connect this to the Zoom hammer. Well, that's interesting too. You can cultivate and slurry at the same time. Yeah, we might. I'm going to try this, but I think we might need to sell this. Sorry, pardon me. We might need to sell this and get something a little bit smaller, or at least that takes a little bit less power. Oh, we'll give it a go. 6 meter cultivator would be quite useful because we've got a lot of big fields to do. Oh well, let's give it a go. See how it gets on. I'll just get someone working on this. I haven't used this before, so it's quite nice to use it. Looks very nice and clean and shiny. Won't be for long. Okay, well, it's going to struggle on the hills, but you know what? It seems to be okay to me. The fact you can put it on the back of the Zoom hammer is quite cool. Slurry and cultivate all in one shot. I like it. Yes, I mean, it's definitely going to struggle up the hills, but you know what? That seems alright to me. In fact, I haven't used it before. It's quite cool. Just for a change. So now we're going uphill. How's it getting on? 7. Slowing slightly. Engine note. Yeah, 6. But that's okay, actually. That's pretty respectable, 6 miles an hour. Good job, old Deutz. Nice. Back up to 8. Great stuff. Sorry, I'll get at you 8. Cool. Actually, before I go back, well, I'll just make sure that he's doing alright. It's that plane again. Anyway, I need to go online. So I'm going to order that front tank. I actually quite enjoy doing that slurrying, so it'd be nice to have that little bit extra capacity. So the Goma Front tank, 3,000 litres, yeah, 8,050. It's a cow and a half. It's all good. I think that's fun. I haven't used it before, so that'd be kind of fun. Oh yeah, so this goes on the, so yeah, the Zune hammer. So what we can put, it's 48,000, got an 18,500 litre capacity. Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? It's a lot more expensive than that, but the fact that you can plough, cultivate. Or there's the Zuni disc. But we've already got the Catros. Oh no, sorry, wrong one. Cultivators, Catros. Which is actually worth slightly more, so I'd actually end up spending more money. Just thinking, because you can actually put, there's the Zuni disc as well, which also goes on the back of the Zune hammer. Interesting. Maybe next year. That might be a worthy investment, or later this year or something, depending how the finances are. Anyway, wasn't my main focus. So we need a mixer. Expensive. Very expensive, but I love that. Needs round bales. Kind of keeping that for Shamrock. Ooh. Oh, I love that, but that's very expensive. Okay. I've never used that before. But it's really cheap. It's got to be worth trying it, right? Got to be worth trying. And actually I also thought, because I keep forgetting how our cleanliness has already dropped to 95%, and I'm a bit fastidious about keeping my cows, well, all the animals, because we've only got cows at the moment, all the animals clean. And I'm thinking we could do with an extra tractor, so a yard tractor wouldn't be a bad shout, but I want something cheap. I mean, I could get a skid steer. Can't afford a telehandler yet. But I think it'd be cheaper to buy it, and a little bit more versatile as well. So some of this running around slurrying could do that with a small yard tractor, but you know, doing the food mixing could do that with a small yard tractor. So I just need something with front loader, forks, and front loader and a bucket. Those don't take front loaders, that's a bit too powerful. Ah, it's got some old Masseys. So that one's 18.8, it's 47 horsepower. I need a 2-wheel drive, I don't need a 4-wheel drive. That's 34, that's even more expensive. 48, no, going up. 41, goodness. 66, well yeah, it's lovely, but crikey. Ah, of course. No, see, I did use that Mulchstein. Oh, and that one's even cheaper. So with cab or without? Can have a front loader attacher. Can go up to 88 horsepower. Ooh, 90. 95. Starting to get a bit pricey though, then, aren't you? Could always upgrade the engine later. Standard's fine. Not bothered, not bothered. Don't mind. 18,300. Before I buy it, that mixer I've just bought, I might need a front weight, I suppose. What? How much power does it need? Oh, 85. Okay. So I do need something a little more beefy. Now that's 88 and it's 18,000. I have used that before. Nice to have something different. What was the other one? I was going too far back. What was the other one I saw? Sorry, just a lot of cogitating. Though 45 too low, 47 too low. Can't increase the power. And then you're starting to get quite expensive, and they're still relatively low powered, I think. Right, okay, fine. So front loader, yes. Engine setup. It's only an extra 6.5, and it'll give us 88 horsepower. You know, we go up to 90 for an extra $300. Or for an extra 1,000, we can go all the way up to 95. You know what? Might as well just do it now. Wheel setup standard, standard, standard. That's all fine. Oh, I'm fairly certain, because this is part of the Blacksheep Modding old Massey pack, right? Yeah, because it's got the old Massey Ferguson. So that means that we want the same, the old Massey. Because I could have just done this by going through brand, but anyway. Yep, so the front loader. Don't need a fork yet, because there's no bales. Scoop. Not fussed about teeth. Ooh, fork with grapple. No major advantage. Weights. I think we need a front weight, and I'm pretty sure there is one for the Massey. The old Massey pack. There's two. You know, if I'm going to be mixing food, I think the bigger one makes sense. Wow, that's dented the bank balance a little bit, hasn't it? Oh my goodness me. Down to 105. Mind your work has been doing well while I've been doing that. Anyway. Well, we'll get all those delivered then. Crikey. Big spending spree. Might need a loan before we can buy some more cows. But then actually, equipment-wise, we don't... Do we need to harvest? We don't need anything else. Do we? No. So there'll be a few work costs, seed costs, slurry costs. No, he hasn't. So I'm glad I hadn't walked off. I'll get this guy back on it. I'll see you back down at the farm. Right, so that work has just finished that field now. I've just popped down to get the Hurleman. There's our logs. Not got many cells yet. I suppose it's relatively early in the day still. Oh yeah, and all that kit's been delivered, which is perfect timing. I was just noticing the fuel tank on the Hurleman is a little bit low. So, and actually we've got a petrol tank here. Diesel tank, I guess. Derv. as it would be. So I figured we would fill that up, because also let's go have a look at what we got while that's filling up. Because also we've got the front slurry tank here, so I thought I'd come pick that up as well. And everything else, actually, apart from the weights, yeah, so it's like explanation on the weights. I bought this one and then was advised by the man in the store that actually that was a rear weight, and what I really needed was a front weight. So I've got a front weight as well. I hope it's heavy enough to counteract this. We'll see, because it's a relatively small tractor, but I'm hoping it'll do. But I mean, that will still come in useful, because when I start doing bales and stuff, if I can get away with doing it with this one, then the rear weight will be worth its weight in gold. So it was worth getting both. It's going to mean a couple of trips back and forth. But yeah, so while we're here, I'll just get this filled up. I'll get the front tank on. I'm curious to see. There's actually, I haven't really looked at this before. It came out a little while ago before I sort of started really doing regular mod reviews, mod roundups as I call them. It looks a bit big on the front. It looks a bit heavy on the front. I do like those little legs that come off and fold away. That's really cool. It's putting a bit of weight on the front of the tractor, but I think it'll be alright. Hopefully it'll be alright once it's full. Can't wait. Of course, there's that pipe looks great there. Can't wait till FS19 where it actually should connect to the back if the mod's redone. But it's a nice thing. Look at these lights on the front. Aren't they fantastic? Oh, and main beams, indicators. Really good. The lights look really good actually as well. They really look like proper lights. It's going to somewhat restrict my view from the front there, and you can't lower it. So yeah, so what I'm curious about is, well, I'll go fill it up. Maybe not this episode, maybe next episode. And we'll see if that actually moves up. That'll be quite fun to see. Anyway, let's get this out of the way for a moment, because to be honest, I will fill it up and I will use it again. We'll fill it up and then we'll start at one of the bigger fields and see how it gets on. Yeah, we'll give that a go and see how it looks. Anyway, so I'll just leave that there for now, because we'll run down to the animal store, animal merchants, a bit later. So let's get all this set up. This is, you see, to me, these are the tractors that were around when I was a kid. I had a toy, one of these, Britons. I don't know if you've heard of Britons. They make brilliant die-cast farm toys, and I had a Britons, one of these. Although mine had a cab, admittedly, but it was very similar. It had the sort of deep ridged, you know, two-wheel drive front wheels, all the works. I'm going to leave the weight for now. Actually, no, I'll take the weight over. Why not? And then I'll come back a bit later on for the Siloking. Because I'm not going to do that today, or not this episode anyway. I do like to have a little Massey on most of my farms. There we go. Brilliant smoke coming out black when you put the... Should just... There it is. Put the front weight on. Awesome. Put the rear weight on the back, and I'll take that over. We'll find somewhere to put it. I need to start thinking about where I'm going to organise everything, because I'm starting to build up quite a collection of equipment. Clearly the plough doesn't like going in that. Wow, that's some weight, isn't it? Yeah, clearly the plough doesn't like going on the mind you, that's interesting. If that, so actually this has got a rear hook on the back. I wonder if, worth a test, when that front tank is full, that's going to be really heavy on the hurlement. I wonder if I could put this rear weight on the back and then attach the slurry spreader to the rear weight. That might work. In which case, this, if so, this purchase we were, I mean, I think I'll use it anyway, but the purchase we were went gold if I can do that. Yeah, I'm just going to put this down for a minute, because I think when it comes to doing the food mixing, I'll actually need, because I'm using this one, I'll need to get the grass, the hay rather, and the straw out of the silo and put them in a shed. Oh, that's a point. I haven't checked on this for a while. How's it getting on? 80%. Oh, cool. All right. Good. Okay. And now... is that... that's not really muck from the cows all the way over in the middle of the road, is it? Surely not. Let's clean up. Let's clean up this town. You know what? It looks like it. Surely not. All the way over there? How much mess did these cows make? Oh wow. Surely means the Laley's no option. Not that I would have probably anyway. The Laley I find, and I don't know if other people have found this as well, but I find the Laley a real problem when you've got seasons. Because it gets jammed. Well actually no, it's not so much that it gets jammed up by snow, so much that actually I found when I used it on Goldcrest, that because of the requirement to have an annual service of all your vehicles, I couldn't repair it. It wouldn't let me repair it, and then it just malfunctioned because it hadn't been repaired. So I don't know if anyone else has found that. Let me know. But yeah, that was certainly what I came across. Well, that's just brilliant, isn't it? That works perfectly, as one would expect. So that's awesome. Probably won't have updated just yet. Nope, it was down at 93%. The cows at 67%, it's dropped ever so slightly since I got them, and I'm wondering if it's because they don't have top mix ration, power food, whatever you want to call it. So that will certainly be the thing we do in the next episode, because we have pretty much come to the end of an episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this. We will look at this wonderful device next time around. I haven't used it before, so we'll see how we get on. We'll have a bit of wheel slip, packing this up. Will be balanced out, I'm sure. Am I having that on the back? Yeah, a little bit, but when it's full it will. Anyway, sorry. Distracted again as usual. We've come to the end of an episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this. We've, been busy again, getting our fields ready. Started some of the other things that we need to do, diversify. We've got more stuff ready for the cows, keep them sorted. And we'll continue that, all of that and more in the next episode. So, yeah, if you enjoyed it, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet and you would like to, please feel free to do so. And yeah, as I've mentioned previously in some other videos, quite keen to get out there a bit more, get a few people watching, get some comments and thoughts, etc. So yeah, if you know of anyone who you think might enjoy this, perhaps they play Farming Simulator or otherwise, do share. That would be great. And otherwise, I'll look forward to seeing you next time on South Mountain Creamery. Bye bye for now.